Well, hello there, good-looking people of planet Earth. I was going to go with the United States, but I don't want to shortchange the global reach of the fantasy footballers. Welcome in. I am Mike, the Fantasy Hitman Wright. Welcome to Sunday Live, the Week 4 edition. Oh, boy, what a wild ride it has been this week in general and in the NFL. We've had some ups and downs, some twists and some turns. We're going to get into all that. We're going to get into your start-sit questions. We are going to talk about some of the trending players. But, of course, we need to start here with the big picture. There is a lot of injury stuff to go through, a lot of questionable guys. Are they in? Are they out? Okay, let's talk about COVID-19. Let's start right there. So, I'm sure the vast majority of you know, but just in case, here's where we are. Cam Newton, quarterback for the New England Patriots, he tested positive for COVID-19 yesterday, and this threw everything into a whirlwind where we have to make sure that the rest of the New England Patriots are safe. They can play. They are not spreading the disease around like the Tennessee Titans. The Kansas City Chiefs, they had their own thing where their practice squad quarterback also tested positive in a cruel twist of irony. He was replicating Cam Newton in practice. No comment needs to be made about how just insane that is. So as of this morning, no other players from either team has tested positive. They are planning on having that game. It's going to be tomorrow, though. It is going to be – is this tomorrow, this direction on your screen? I don't know if you'd prefer me to go this way or this way, but either way, it is tomorrow. Cross those fingers. We're hoping that it is, in fact, tomorrow. One thing that we know for sure, I don't even know if the drop is on the board. If we could, yeah, here we go. Here we go. Newton ain't going to be scooting that booty for at least a couple weeks because he is the patient zero. He is positive for COVID-19, so he's going to be out for a while. How are you handling starting those other players? Well, I'll let you know how our league is doing it. If you have someone from the Patriots or from the Kansas City Chiefs, we are putting them into our lineups, and then we are stating in our group chat, if the game is postponed, I would have played player X, who player X is sitting on your bench, and that could be someone who's going from today's morning games. It doesn't matter when they are playing. It is just a break glass in case of emergency. It is if that game happens to be postponed yet again, because we think it's going to be tomorrow. Maybe it's going to be Tuesday. We aren't exactly sure. And maybe it gets postponed just like the Titans and Steelers game that happened this week. So that's how we are handling it. You handle however you want to, but we are trying to take out as much of the shenanigans from 2020 as we possibly can. In injury news, Joe Mixon popped up kind of late with a chest injury, and there was actual concern that he was going to be available for the Cincinnati Bengals. He is. They did not activate Travion Williams, so that is a good sign that they believe that Joe Mixon is ready to go. If you have an extra spot on your bench, you should be throwing Giovanni Bernard on there just in case. Not for today, but what if Joe Mixon has an injury, he re-aggravates it, and Joe Mixon misses time? You need to be ahead of your curve. You need to get Giovanni Bernard on your bench as of now. Kareem Hunt, he missed several practices this week with a groin injury, but he got back to practice Friday. He looks like he is ready to go. Another bizarre thing this year, the Seattle Seahawks, Chris Carson, the victim of an alligator roll, just a super dirty play that was unnecessary, and I still have we heard anything about that? That player gets – dude, come on, man. You got to bring the justice down. That was disgusting. Anyway, so Chris Carson, he is okay, and he is going to be – it looks like he's going to play. The backup, though, Carlos Hyde, who was going to fill in for Chris Carson, he's not playing. I don't know what's going on, man. I don't know what's going on. Raheem Mostert remains out. Leonard Fournette is out. We already knew that. On the wide receiver side, DeAndre Hopkins took us for quite the ride this week as he did not practice. You had the coaching staff coming out and saying, we don't know if he's going to play. It's going to come down to pain tolerance. And then Hopkins put up this super cryptic tweet, a gif of himself with, I believe the verbiage was fantasy players wanting to know if I'm playing tomorrow. And, look, he's in. If you have Hopkins, he is all systems go. Maybe you're not getting the top 5 guy you normally do, but you're still getting one of the best wide receivers in fantasy football and in the game. I am playing him without hesitation. Terry McLaurin, he also popped up later from Washington. Terry McLaurin, he popped up later. The matchup stinks. His quarterback stinks. Everything about his situation stinks, but he's like the only stick of deodorant going on right now in Washington. He doesn't stink. He is great. I'm playing him. I'm playing him as like a wide receiver 2-ish flex type of a player this week. Michael Thomas is out. It's worth noting what is going on with the Saints. Now, they had another COVID scare where one of the Saints I believe a fullback on the Saints, he ended up testing positive for COVID. Put that game in question. Thus far, there has been no other positive cases, and the NFL is choosing to go forward. Not COVID-related. The New Orleans Saints are beat up, man. They have massive injury problems. We're talking starting cornerbacks out, Jared Kuke out, Michael Thomas out, starting tackle or starting guard Pete out. Like, the Saints are in some serious situation here with their injuries. Matthew Stafford was my start of the week. Is still my start of the week. I'm saying he was on the podcast. Man, Kenny Golladay this week. Let's go. Kenny Golladay, we're all looking at you, buddy. So then the other big questions, Julio Jones, a lot of big questions this week. We will get to your questions, I promise. Devontae Adams, Julio Jones, questionable Monday night. What are you doing with them? They've got the Q tag. I am risking it. Like, I'm going for it. And I don't have a backup option. Hopefully you're able to grab Marquez Valdes-Scantling, just anybody from this game that you can have a pivot Monday night, or maybe somehow now a Patriot or a Kansas City player is your pivot. Wild world. Anyways, they're questionable. If they play, they are super studs, and they are going to play for my fantasy team. And if you want to join me on this no risk it, no biscuit train, I have no parachute. I have simply jumped out of the plane, and I hope that I've landed in the arms of Devontae Adams and Julio Jones, and they softly catch my falling body before it plummets to doom, and I have 2 players who do not play. That'll be really fun. Chris Godwin is out, so Scotty Miller is in for Tampa Bay. So the Tampa Bay Buccaneers situation, it's a doozy. It should easily be Scotty Miller, but he's been banged up. He was like a game-time decision, and it was sounding like he's going to play. Justin Watson still remains my sneaky start of that Tampa Bay wide receiver core. Big news from San Francisco. Deebo Samuel is playing. I have gotten many questions about Deebo Samuel. What am I doing? I have Deebo Samuel on a lot of my fantasy teams. He's just been sitting there, just hanging out, getting some rest, drinking some Mai Tais, whatever, hanging out on my IR as I get ready to unleash Deebo Samuel upon my foes. It won't be this week. I'm not doing that. I am not taking that risk. Deebo Samuel, his injury, his particular injury, it's tough to come back from because you think you're good to go, and then you're not with the Jones fracture. I want to see him on a football field. Deebo Samuel really hasn't done anything since the Super Bowl. Like, that's a long time. This guy is not ready to play football. I think the team knows that. I think he is going to be on a snap count. Now, hopefully, we see enough of Deebo Samuel that we are confident that we can plug him into the lineup next week. I have concerns that both this week and next week might just be another Deebo Samuel's hanging out on my bench as I get ready. So I am prepared to play without him. I don't want to take that risk. Let's see. The Raiders, we know that Ruggs and Brian Edwards are out. Hunter Renfrow, the slot machine for Las Vegas, remains a very sneaky start. George Kittle is in. Jared Cook is out. My sneaky start of the New Orleans matchup, rookie Adam Troutman. He is the tight end. I think he was a 4th-round pick. He is a very interesting player. Let's see if he gets some usage with Cook out, Michael Thomas out. I don't know. All right, Brooks. That was exhausting. Let's get into the trending players. Who is hot right now? TheFantasyFootballers.com. We have a start-sit tool. You can head over there because all of our rankings are there. The start-sit tool, you plug a couple of players in, beep, bop, boop. The computer machine lets you know who we would play. Thank you. If you are a supporter of JoinTheFoot.com, our Patreon community, boom, Quattro, 4. You get to plug in 4 players for the start-sit tool. Mr. Judge Giamatti, who is trending on the start-sit tool? What are the big questions that people are asking right now?
By far, the number one player requested is DJ Chark returning this week against the Bengals.
Okay, so DJ Chark, he's in a good situation for the matchup. Now, coming back from his injury, he was also, if you listened to the Injury Blitz podcast, which is one of the perks for for some of our supporters over on Patreon, he highlighted that DJ Chark was on the injury report with illness. So I am willing to play DJ Chark. This isn't like a Deebo Samuel situation for me where he's back from injury, and frankly, a lot of people, a lot of these guys on their first week back, I've just said, no, I'm not taking the risk. I'm not plugging them in. DJ Chark is worth it, but if you got through last week and that option that carried you through last week is still a strong option, I would strongly consider playing them over DJ Chark. I mean, on top of that, we haven't seen the target share going to him. We know now, whatever. Maybe it's a little bit anecdotal and I'm just jumping to conclusions, but here, it's fantasy football. We have to make snap decisions with 1 or 2 weeks of information.
So, Mike, you taking Chark or Justin Jefferson versus the Texans?
I'm going to take DJ Chark there. I will take the guy with the more proven production. I know this is, as Jason would say, Justin Jefferson was drafted to be great. DJ Chark is great. He's just happened to be coming off of an injury and hasn't gotten the target volume that he's used to. I prefer not to chase those rookie points with someone like DJ Chark. I'm going to go with Chark. Who else are people asking about?
A lot of questions about Kareem Hunt this week.
Okay, that's fair. I get it. My groin. When you pop up on groinindex.com, I don't know if Kareem Hunt ever made it. No, they're shaking their heads. Someone did. Was it the Atlanta kicker?
Yeah, Young Ho.
Yeah, look, if you need groin information, groinindex.com, of course. I am playing Kareem Hunt with full confidence personally. And here's the thing about playing Kareem Hunt this week, as it has been every other week. You will look at halftime, you will check your fantasy scores, and you'll go, I have made a grave error in starting Kareem Hunt. Pump the brakes. Take it easy. Kareem Hunt will be just fine. He is clearly their second half guy that they go to. So I am playing Kareem Hunt with full confidence. Is there anybody who else is real hot, or should I jump into these questions?
One more. How do you feel about Chris Carson? What's your confidence level? The top one with him looks like Darrell Henderson Jr. or Chris Carson.
Ooh. Okay, if it's Darrell Henderson, I'm going to play him over Chris Carson. Henderson in that matchup is I think he is going to smash this week. I really, really do. I have pretty strong confidence that Chris Carson is going to play, or not going to play, I'm sorry, will receive the full allotment. Now, theoretically against Miami, Seattle should be able to run a little bit more. Russ will do his chef's dinner, full 3-course meal, probably a 5-course meal if we're being honest with Russell Wilson these days. And then Chris Carson will see some play. But I feel like, to me, I'm just trying to read into Pete Carroll here, they wouldn't rush him back if the knee injury wasn't something that was just minor, a little bit of pain that he can actually play through. So I'm still playing Chris Carson if I got him. Running back 2, but he has running back 1 upside every single week. So are we getting into the questions now, Brooks, or you got somebody else?
Let's get into those questions.
All right. Wherever you're listening, the youtube.com/thefantasyfootballers, wherever. I don't have to tell you because you're here. You're watching. You're on the socials. All right, here we go. Robert Robinson wants to know Minshew or Fitz. All right. So Ryan Fitzpatrick or Gardner Minshew. I am starting Ryan Fitzpatrick. Ryan Fitzpatrick is tough because he's Ryan Fitzpatrick. I mean, let's be honest. He's on his 12th team or so in his NFL career, but the fact is, what week is it? It's like week 7. I don't know. Over the second half of last year, he was the number 2 fantasy quarterback. This matchup is so incredible against the Seattle Seahawks. They are bleeding point. They're just hemorrhaging all over the place. Fantasy points to the quarterback position and fantasy points to wide receivers as well. But look, I'm going Ryan Fitzpatrick over Gardner Minshew. Let's get some confidence back with Gardner. Let's let him sit on the bench, get DJ Chark back in the game, and make sure that DJ Chark was in fact the missing piece for Gardner, and that last week was just a little hitch in the giddy up of the swag machine that is Gardner Minshew. Freddie wants to know Jeff Wilson or Antonio Gibson. I am trying to bench Antonio Gibson wherever I can. Because here's the upside for Antonio Gibson. 30 to 40 yards on the ground and a touchdown. That's the upside that I see in this matchup against the Baltimore Ravens. It is going to be brutal. It's going to be brutal here for Dwayne Haskins and the Washington football team. They aren't going to be able to give Antonio Gibson the ball very much. They still haven't been. They have not unleashed him in the passing game the way that they honestly should. When a player is, you're not even sure if a player is designated as a wide receiver or a running back, and then you put him at running back, you should throw him the ball. I mean, I'm no scientist, no mathematician over here, but that just seems to make sense to me that a player can catch the ball and do things that Antonio Gibson can do. Maybe you should throw him the ball. But we see quarterbacks that they don't have that built into them, right? For every Phillip Rivers we have Tyrod Taylor. Tyrod Taylor just doesn't really check down to the running back that much. So we may not see that unleashed from Antonio Gibson until we see a quarterback change. I should say, if we see a quarterback change, which it would then turn into Kyle Allen, and Kyle Allen was the maestro, the conductor who just kept throwing the ball to Christian McCaffrey, 8 times a game last year. So if Kyle Allen gets in, Antonio Gibson is going to be on a rocket ship to opportunity. But this week, I'm trying to get out just a follow-up like Bailey says, Gibson or MVS, Marquez Valdez-Scantling in a full PPR. I'm going to take it up to 100 with Jason on this one. I'm going to play MVS over Gibson if at all possible. Next question is from Boop, 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 boop. Yeah, lots and lots of chart questions. Here we go. Like this one. Alejandro wants to know, DJ Chark or Hunter Renfrow. This is wild because I would play Renfrow. Yeah, this is like the part of the day where Andy just like breaks down the wall like the Kool-Aid man because I'm willing to play Hunter Renfrow over DJ Chark. But I would do it, man. He's the Renfrow and Waller. It's like a kid's show. What was it? Wallace and Ladmo? Was that the show? Owl? I'm throwing it to you on that one.
Yes, it was.
Was Wallace and Ladmo nationwide, or was that just an Arizona thing?
Yeah, I don't know. Showbiz Pizza. I don't know if that's nationwide or not.
I don't know. If that reference landed, it just killed. That's what I know. That's for sure. All right. Is Kelsey playing this week? I think so. Once again, If you are just joining the stream, number one, welcome in. The way that we are in the fantasy footballers, our league of record, our dynasty leagues, the way that we are handling the COVID situation, you put those players who you would normally start, like Travis Kelce. He's in your tight end spot. But before the games start this morning, you designate to your league saying, if Travis Kelce doesn't start, I would have played player X. You are just giving yourself the opportunity. Like, if you knew the game was canceled, you wouldn't just leave Travis Kelce in there. You would do something about it. And for us, I don't think that is it's not a fair new risk for fantasy football players to say, like, well, you got to make your choice. I mean, you're making your choice off of, like, barely any news. We don't know. So far there's been no other positive tests. But if a positive test pops up tomorrow, guess which game is canceled? That one. I don't know why I'm asking you to guess which game is going to get canceled. My point is, so designate who you would have started this morning before the games start, and then go from there. So, I mean, I think Travis Kelce's playing. I can't say for sure with a ton of confidence. Matthew wants to know, A.J. Green or Mark Ingram. This is rough. This is a battle of two players who are massively disappointing. Mark Ingram is just not getting opportunity in the red zone, specifically the goal zone. The goal zone? The 5 zone. The goal zone. If only he could get a few more goal zone opportunities. Oh, ladies and gentlemen. So I'm going to go with A.J. Green, man. I get that last week it was the T. Higgins show. He had the 2 touchdowns. I think T. Higgins had 5 or 6 catches, though. That's not something that's going to happen every single week. You don't get 6 catches and 2 touchdowns unless you are DK Metcalf or Tyler Lockett, because that's just what they do in Seattle. But the rest of the world, they have to deal with things like regression, normal statistical output. So I'm going to play with A.J. Green over Mark Ingram this week. A reminder, a shout-out, thank you to our sponsor of this Sunday live stream, Pristine Auction. PristineAuction.com, the best sports memorabilia site on the planet. Get your signed jerseys. We got Kenny Golladay up, Brooks? Oh, heck yes. Let's go. It's Kenny Golladay time, baby. I feel it in my bones. Kenny Golladay time. But anyways, PristineAuction.com. Head over there. Make a completely free account. Use the code BALLERS. When you sign up, you will get $10 for your first purchase, your first victory, your first of many, I am sure, over at Pristine Auction. If you haven't checked them out, please do, and use the code BALLERS. All right, a couple more questions before we get out of here, and we can all hide our heads under the blankets and tilt and enjoy fantasy football, because this is what we do. All right. Riley wants to know, Greg Ward or T. Higgins? All right. So this is new hotness, T. Higgins versus Greg Ward. I don't even know what to call Greg Ward. I mean, last man standing? Dude, I'd playing Greg Ward. That is so gross. But here we are, Greg Ward. Yeah, he's who's healthy on Philadelphia? I don't even know. I don't know who's healthy anymore. It's too hard to keep track of all that news. T. Higgins, meanwhile, he came through last week, but he still has to compete with Tyler Boyd, A.J. Green, Giovanni Bernard. He still has like a ton of competition for targets. Meanwhile, Greg Ward doesn't, because Greg Ward is wide receiver superstar number 1 for Philadelphia. All right. Next question. A8 wants to know Terry McLaurin or Robbie Anderson. Oof. I am going to let the matchup decide this one for me. The matchup plus Terry McLaurin, like, he did pop up on the injury report. I'm not saying the injury is the only reason I'm benching him. It's just a combination. Slight injury concern, massive matchup concern against the Baltimore Ravens. And DJ Moore gets to take on, Robbie Anderson gets to take on the Arizona Cardinals. with like they're banged up at safety, they're banged up at cornerback. I'm playing Robbie Anderson. Robbie Anderson and DJ Moore are weekly plays to me. I don't know if people have gotten that sense from me yet, if I have properly expressed that on the podcast. Robbie Anderson's getting a ton of volume, man. Yeah, I'm staying with that. You know, he's a weekly wide receiver 2 or 3. Which means he should be playing in your lineup, your flex at the worst. All right, rapid round here. A couple more questions, and then we got to get out of here. Unless, Brooks, is there anything else that you think I should cover back there? Maybe I'm overlooking it.
No, I don't think so.
That's right. I was just wanting you to confirm my greatness to the millions and millions of streamers. What would listeners, watchers, streamers? What do you call people who watch streams?
Any of those work.
All right.
I am seeing a lot of questions on Ryan Fitzmagic. So,
Okay.
like Aaron Rodgers, Ryan Fitzpatrick, Matt Stafford, Matt Ryan, Jared Goff.
Okay. So, perfect. Thank you, Hal. Aaron Rodgers, no way. I'm not. Aaron Rodgers is the fires of hatred have engulfed this man, and he is back, at least thus far. I'm expecting Devontae Adams to play. I know that Allen Lazard is out, but Aaron Rodgers in this matchup against the Falcons is going to put up, I believe the definition is a butt ton of points. You could look it up. It's a lot of them because, tons of butts and that thing. Jared Goff, I would play Ryan Fitzpatrick over Jared Goff. That the matchup with Seattle is too juicy, and Jared Goff and the Rams have just turned into this run-first team. Jared Goff will still be fine. He'll probably end up with 202 touchdowns, but I want some upside with my quarterback. Ryan Fitzpatrick might have to throw for over 300 yards and multiple scores. Who was the other quarterback you mentioned there, Owl?
Stafford?
I'm playing – oh, man. I'm going to play Matt Stafford over Ryan Fitzpatrick. The Saints are just so incredibly banged up, man. Like I said, their two starting quarterbacks are not going to be playing, or two of their cornerbacks are not going to be playing. Matt Stafford, I'm taking the Lions to surprise the Saints in this game, and I think there's going to be a lot of fantasy points for Detroit and company. All right, last one, then I'm getting out of here. Ben wants to know, DJ Moore or Michael Gallup. DJ Moore, start of the week. I'm locking that in. He is my dude this week. I think he shakes it off, T Swift style. He stops the haters in their tracks, and he is back. He is back because he's going to get in the goal zone this week. That'll do it for me. I am Mike, the Fantasy Hitman Wright. I'm hitting myself in the hat from the Fantasy Footballers podcast. Thank you for tuning in. I wish you nothing but the best of luck. If I didn't get to your question, I apologize. The FantasyFootballers.com has the start-sit tool. All of our rankings, these things are being updated down to the wire. Go get your questions answered over there. Stay safe. Take care of each other because we are clearly not out of the dark yet. And remember, keep it beautiful. Mwah. See you next time.